They died for content. 20 people. 20 people stood at the bottom of a volcano. They saw the warning signs. They saw the locked gates. They knew the mountain was closed. And they climbed anyway. At 7:41 in the morning, the mountain answered them. An ash cloud 6 miles high swallowed the entire sky. Burning rocks rained down from above. Toxic gas filled every breath of air, and 3 of those 20 people never came back down. Why did they go up there? For content, for social media, for views. I want to say with that for a second. Welcome to the Daily David, where I take the biggest stories happening right now and explain them in plain English. No noise. No confusion. That's the truth. Let us get into it. Indonesia is one of the most volcanic places on Earth. It sits on something scientists call the Ring of Fire, a massive belt of volcanic activity that wraps around the entire Pacific Ocean. And Indonesia sits right in the middle of it. Over 120 active volcanoes in one country. And Mount Dukono is one of the most active of all of them. This mountain has been erupting almost every single day since 1933. 1933. That is not a typo. That volcano has been erupting for nearly 100 years. Since March of this year alone, it erupted nearly 200 times. That is roughly 95 eruptions every single day. The government knew exactly how dangerous it was. So on April the 17th, 3 weeks before this tragedy, they closed the mountain completely. Warning signs were placed at every entrance. Gates were locked. A danger zone was declared, stretching 2.5 miles from the crater. 2.5 miles. And yet, on the evening of May the 7th, 20 people decided those signs were not meant for them. A local tour guide was on that mountain the next morning. Deep tremors, the kind that do not feel right. So he flew a drone over the crater to check. What he saw stopped him cold. The crater was filled with volcanic material, pressure, building. Then at exactly 7:41 in the morning, it let go. A column of ash and burning rock exploded 10 kilometers into the sky, 6 miles straight up. The eruption shook monitoring equipment for over 16 minutes. Volcanic bombs, chunks of burning rock came crashing down. Toxic gases spread across the mountain. Ash turned morning into darkness. The group was trapped. Emergency signals went out. Rescue teams were sent immediately. By the end of that day, 17 of the 20 had been pulled to safety. 5 of them injured. 3 of them were gone. 2 young men from Singapore, aged 27 and 30, and 1 Indonesian woman. Their bodies remained on the mountain that night because the volcano was still erupting, and no rescue team could safely reach them. Let that land for a moment. Their families waited, and the mountain kept burning. Now here's a part of this story that matters most. The police chief spoke to the media after the eruption, and he said something very hard to forget. He said they knew. They all knew the mountain was close. They knew it was dangerous. And they went up anyway. Why? He said it plainly. They were driven by the desire to create online content. Online content. A video filmed near the crater that morning went viral. 5.8 million views. In that video, you can hear a man's voice. The moment he realizes what is happening, the moment the ash cloud comes, he says, "Oh my God, they died." They died. The very content they went up there to create became the record of the disaster itself. I am not here to judge these people. Most of us understand the pull, the hunger to capture something incredible, something nobody else has seen, something that makes people stop scrolling. That desire is human. That feeling is real. But this story forces us to ask one uncomfortable question. How far is too far? Because this is not the first time. Every single year, people are killed chasing content. On cliff edges, on train tracks, near wild animals, in restricted zones with warning signs and locked gates. Researchers have a term for it now: selfie deaths, and the numbers keep climbing. Here is why it keeps happening. Social media rewards the extreme. The more dangerous the shot, the more views. The more views, the more followers. The more followers, the more money and identity and wealth. So people push further and further. And sometimes there is no further left. Mount Dukono did not kill those 3 people because it was unpredictable. It has been erupting every single day for nearly 100 years. It was close. It was signed. It was fenced. It killed them because the warnings were ignored. And the warnings were ignored for content. In the days that followed, over 100 rescuers, soldiers, and police were deployed to that mountain. 2 thermal drones searched through the ash in the dark. The search was suspended Friday night because the volcano kept erupting. Saturday morning, 4 more eruptions. The search continued anyway. Authorities are now investigating whether tour operators knowingly led people into the restricted zone. Criminal charges may follow. The mountain remains closed, and the government is pushing for much stricter enforcement across every active volcanic site in the country, because this did not have to happen. 3 families are sitting in silence today, not because of a disaster nobody could have predicted, because a gate was climbed over, because a sign was walked past, because in that moment, the content felt worth more than the risk, until it was not. No view is worth your life. No follower count is worth your life. No viral moment is worth your life. Remember that. If this story made you stop and think, share it with one person who needs to hear it. Subscribe to the Daily David. Every single week, I bring you the stories that matter, explained simply so anyone can understand them. I am David, and this is the Daily David.